About the case of Ted Bundy, I think there's some question raised to the lawyer's case handling, whether he did not inform of, or did he inform of suspicion, right? Because if he was informing of suspicion, but there were no suspicion, or did he not inform where there was a suspicion, right? Another thing is that the lawyer said that he had a friend that was killed, which is never mentioned in the case, which I think is a pretty strange, like, I mean, if he had a suspicion that somebody could be involved in that murder, would he then have him as a client? I don't think so, right? Um, and then there's also about from that the the meeting I had was in that area and that street where a lot of bad things happen, right? And another thing is that the Sam the Bull, was which were working and is admitting he was working for the mafia, is in the same area. And as you know, the police is sometimes totally occupied by crime, right? So basically, I think it's possible that he was maybe lured and then accused so heavily that he couldn't get out of it. Another thing is that I don't see him at that time as any kind of danger. He was massive drunk, really, really drunk. He was not able to commit any kind of crime as that drunk, right? And he didn't intend, he wasn't threatening or something. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that I think is strange. Another thing is that I actually for some time thought that some of the YouTube shown two masks from Ted Bundy's case, which I cannot tell if true or not, but those masks maybe belong to the house if the house is connected to Ireland. So maybe they connected a lot of stuff to him. For example, the masks, which it probably belongs to Ireland, unless he's working for Ireland maybe. So I also think could be important to look if the victims of his crime were they connected to immigration from Ireland, or what is their background, the parents of the children that have been hurt. Because if it is a kind of political hit, the soft target is the children, as it was in my case, and that's probably maybe the motive. And then we have in that house is maybe two serials, the Tron and Beaumont case, and a lot of other cases indicate that anyone who stepped in there could have been endangered. And I also think that my son's case from September 2012 probably is linking back to that group of people. Another thing is that there was a murder of a union person, I think in early 80s or something. And again, the police fail as accusing his wife for having an affair with an American, which were totally untrue. And we discussed a little bit who then could have done this hit. And I think that there was like there's different groups in this area. It could be like right-wing extreme. It could be Sam the Bull and all that stuff. It could also be hang on. Yeah. So basically, Iceman. Sorry. So it could actually be a hit from organized crime. It could also be a hit from right wing. I don't know what he worked with. I mean, it could also be related to cases he had, like say he was accusing industry of farming for something, and they came after him, right? But what I noticed about this case, I remember somebody saying he was killed. I remember that I was really upset about that. I found out that actually his wife were accused, which probably was corrupted, right? Then I can tell that in I was trying to stop the Dennis, the German kidnapped boy in Germany, and the kidnapper was a pedagogue for an institution. Now, 3 boys were hurt badly. I tried to stop him. The police in this town misunderstood the situation. Even I had tried to delay him. They took me and let him go with Dennis, which I never really forgive because they had all the chances to ask the man, check him out, the number plate, ask the boy if he was all right. They would have solved it, could have stopped them. Another thing, I came home from the Natasha Campos case. Again, they think I am nobody. They charge me as some kind of hospital loony, whatever. So basically, they never paid. Last year, from 2012, they misunderstood completely or corrupted the case of Alex and Eric Yule, Jack Christensen, and Mara and the Greenland girl. They fucked up in the cases. And basically also other cases, cyber crimes, royalty theft, ID theft, anything they got hands up, they fucked up. So basically, it's likely that the police fucked up in other cases. And I read 2 books about the Emmer man, which is a serial rapist, right? Something tells me that he cannot be the person with so different crimes as a child murder, as a robbery, or a punishment for a deal not kept, a kind of a collegial rape, and other things. They're so different, the crimes, that is all unlikely. I mean, most criminal has a profile saying they are trying to get closer to women, young women. They prefer older women. They prefer children. I mean, it's never that you can be like a gangster hold up and then a child murder. I mean, it doesn't go along, right? And I think there's something wrong with the DNA. He was mainly caught on DNA, and God knows if he was, having an affair with the football players' moms, and he politely put his DNA in not in the toilet but beside, somebody picked it up. So basically, I think that we need to get a better police, and we need to also have some system that can stop them if they go wrong. For example, in California, a policeman, very old policeman, that's been caught up by DNA for a lot of cases. Whether he's guilty or not, I don't know. But it looks like that he got away, he was protected. And I can say that in the old cases, in that house I grew up, they were protected. They were feared and they were protected, and they probably committed crimes, right? So basically what I'm saying is that maybe you should try and listen to the victims, and maybe you should also try and give the people you suspect a chance. Maybe it's not always locked down kind of thing that, well, the victims probably did it herself, right? She probably didn't get, it probably her, right? And also there's about accusing friends. Like I heard about, then it was Eric, then it was a friend, then it was, always, around me. They probably knew, like I knew, that the people spoke about the crime September 2012, an Alex crime, the crime against me, my boy, and Chris Stevenson. The only people that knew, the only people that spoke about it was 13 hours.